Roughly 6 in 10 Americans do not have enough money right now to cover a $1,000 emergency expense. That's according to a recent survey by Bankrate. Meanwhile, the median emergency expense costs about $3,750. Being unprepared for emergencies can be devastating financially. So tonight we have a new adulting hack. This is a series in which we share tips from experts on a range of topics we all need to know about, but might need a little bit of a refresher on. RJ Marquez spoke with a personal finance advice director at USAA about how you can best prepare for a rainy day.
It is time for another Adulting Hacks on the News at 9. We're here with Michael Van Cleve, USAA Advice Director. And Michael, we're going to talk about saving money, kind of a rainy day fund. What are some of the first steps that you need to know for that?
You know, having an emergency fund is definitely important. Keeps you from getting into debt, and when things unexpected come up, keeps you from struggling, right? What I would say is when it comes to having that emergency fund is sometimes that can feel like a bit of a daunting task. The best advice I can give you there is just get started. Set a goal for yourself that is attainable, whether that's maybe $200 to start and then $500 and then $1,000 and just kind of work your way up. Talk to your bank and find a way to automate that. Or even through your employer, you may be able to designate that part of that payroll deposit goes over to savings before it even hits your checking account.
Yeah, and we know that, like you said, a lot of unpredictable things may happen. What sort of just the initial mindset that you need to have in order to maybe just not have to touch that money? Because I think a lot of people may see it accrue and then think to themselves, well, I have this money. How do you kind of stay away from doing something like that?
The key thing I would say there is set that money aside in a separate account. Don't keep it in your checking account that you use to pay bills or go buy coffee or go to the movies. You really have the mentality of, unless it's truly an emergency, I'm not going to touch that. But what's truly an emergency? You know, it could be things like a loss of a job or delay of income. It could be an unexpected home repair or vehicle maintenance or even a deductible if you had an accident. Those are things that are emergencies, so just be real honest with yourself before you touch that money.
Is there a set amount that is a good amount to have for just a rainy day fund or just a fund that we can use for these types of emergencies?
The general rule of thumb is eventually you want to have about 3 to 6 months worth of living expenses set aside. That can feel a little bit overwhelming. So I would start off with a smaller goal. Once you hit that target, you know, celebrate, not by spending it all, but celebrate, give yourself a pat on the back, and then start working toward that next goal of maybe 1 month of living expenses, and then 3, and then 6.
Any final words for people that are maybe don't have money saved yet or haven't sort of, you know, gotten into the process of saving money, maybe just like that initial start of how to kind of get that going? Yeah,
to get started, you know, again, I would say definitely try to automate it. So whether it's through your payroll deposit, if you can segment that, or talking to your bank, look at your spending, see if there are a couple of things, no matter how big or small, you can cut back on. The key thing is get started. Once you get started, you can start to build that momentum. And when you start to see that account balance grow, it'll make life a lot easier and a lot less stressful. Because as we mentioned, it's not a matter of if, but when something unexpected will happen.
To see more stories in our Adulting Hacks series, go to our website, ksat.com, and click on this story.